Welcome. I'm so glad you've joined me. You're in for a really rewarding experience that's not only life-saving, but it's life-changing in not just swimming, but in every aspect of your life. You're going to find that the bond you have now doesn't even compare with what you will have. And the level of trust that develops, I can't even put it into words. Parents try and they just say, Kevin, it's life-changing. I'm so glad I've done this. Thank you. And then they give examples. But you'll be able to take what you learn and take the experience that you develop together with your child, grandchild, whoever it is that you're teaching, and it will carry over into every aspect of life and make your relationship easier and more harmonious. I've put together this introduction video for you so that you can have kind of a big picture and you can know how to prepare and what you need before you begin lessons, and then also some keys to success. So you don't need to remember all of this. It's all very easy, and I go through everything each day in the video lessons, and I describe to you what we're going to do. So there's nothing that you have to remember. This is just for those of you who like to see the big picture and then kind of have an outline form of where we're starting and where we're going to end up. So let me share with you a few things that we need to know. First is to watch the introduction video, which this is right now. The second is to practice our kicks on land. I'm going to show you what that is. Do this to cut your swim lesson time down drastically. And this should be done before swim lessons, before you even start the course of lessons, and even during swim lessons after you get out of the pool. It can be done on land, so you don't need access to a pool. And again, this is key. This is one of the most important things you can do. And that is practice the kicks while you're lying face down on the ground, on a bed, on a sofa, and you put a pillow under your feet. The reason for this is it's really difficult to do a poor kick. And so this builds the muscle memory for the correct kick. Difficult to do the poor kick because you can't push your knees down because the ground's pushing back against you. Difficult to do a poor high kick because physically it's just really challenging. So when you learn how to do it on the ground, once you get in the pool, you don't have to spend the time in the pool practicing that kick. The child already knows, oh yeah, it feels like this when we lie down and we do this fast little kicking game. I always know my students that have practiced it outside of the pool because when they come back, they can do their kick and we move on to other skills, and they are swimming so much faster than the others where we spend days working on that kick in the pool. So please, if you want your child to swim quickly and take advantage of the time you have outside of the pool, do this activity. You don't have to do it for very long. Do it for 30 seconds at a time, but the more times you go back to it and do it and require them to think about, oh yeah, how do I do that kick? The more beneficial it is. So said another way, as opposed to spending 2 minutes doing it one time, do it 4 different times for 30 seconds. Have 7 out of 9 days available for teaching. What does that mean? It just means have 7 days, but if you need a day here and there to take off, that's okay, but try to finish the course within 9 days, or at least get through the material in 9 days. And then if you need longer to continue practicing or introduce some skills because your child is having a little bit of difficulty, no problem. But you can do the course in 7 days, or you can take a day here and there and try to get through it within 9. Next is to have some dive toys available for day 2. So you can purchase those beforehand at a local place or get them online. I'll show you a few that I like here. These are easier to grab off the bottom of the pool. There are some that are like gems that lie pretty flat on the pool surface, and those are difficult to pick up even for me. I try to get them. I'm like, I can't get these darn things off the pool. And so try some of these that stand up a little bit better. They're easier. I recommend getting a swim noodle for yourself, especially when you're in the deeper water. It's more comfortable to just sit on it while you're helping your child. And I recommend the ones that have a little more foam. They support you better. Or you can grab a couple of them and you just kind of throw them under your legs and you can sit on them. If you can heat the pool, if it's yours or a neighbor's and this is an option, that it helps. It makes it more comfortable and a little bit easier for the child to learn since they're not worrying about cold water. I've listed out what I think are the keys to success, meaning If you can do these things, these will really help ensure that your child learns to swim quickly and effectively. I have 7 out of 9 calendar days available. What does that mean? It just means over the course of the next 9 days or 7 of those available to teach. If you can teach for the next 7 days, great. If you need a break, if you have a day trip planned somewhere or whatever, that's fine. Take a day here, a day there. If you need 2 days in a row, you can do that as well. I don't recommend more than 3 days break in a row because it does have an effect. Consistency is key when we're learning like this. And so repeating every day for the most part, what we've learned the previous day and then learning our new skills will get where we want to be quickly, which is ideally within 7 days. But if it takes longer, that's fine too. This is just a guideline of what I usually do within the 7-day period. But every child is different. Some get there faster, some take a little bit longer. It's not a race, it's not a competition. So each day, if you get ahead, great, move to the next one. If you fall behind, that's okay. Catch up the next time. Or don't even catch up. Work on those skills the next time. Try to keep each lesson, though, to 25 or 30 minutes. Once you go past 30 minutes, there's really not much benefit. The benefits decline because you get physically fatigued and mentally fatigued, and the children just check out at that point. So it's okay, finish where you've left off when your time limit finishes, and then come back to it the next day. Again, coming back more often is more important than having a single longer period of time. Similar to lesson time is keeping the time for each skill at a lower amount so that it's not so long spent on just one skill. It's better, again, to practice a skill for a little period of time, so give it enough time so that you can actually focus on it. So 5 to 7 minutes, and then move to another skill. And then you can always come back to it. And doing that is much better because these skills require a lot of muscle memory. So leaving the skill and then returning to it is great because it requires you to kind of pull from your brain, oh yeah, how did I do that? And try to find and activate the muscles to do the kicks correctly or the arms. So this is much better than spending a longer period of time on just one particular skill. The next point, I say, don't allow sloppiness on the skills that matter, and I'll tell you which ones. And by that, what I mean is some skills we want to do really, really well because they're the ones that matter. They're going to help us swim quickly. And others, they don't matter so much. It's like, yeah, we want to do it like this. It'll help a little bit. And I'll tell you which ones again as we go through. But what I mean by this is that we should teach and expect really precise movements on some of these things. And when we don't get it, we should help how to do that. So that actually takes us to our next point, which is about teaching. I want you to speak the instructions while teaching it and making the movements. So first of all, the child connects, okay, this is what my parent or grandparent, whoever is saying, this is what it means and this is what it feels like. So that later on, when you're conveying it also, there's not a gap in, well, I thought I was doing this. They understand exactly what they're supposed to be doing. The next thing we can do to teach well is to show the correct movement we want and then actually give bad examples of what we don't want and describe that as we're doing it, and then show the correct method again. So it's kind of like a sandwich. Show the correct, show a bad one, maybe another bad one, and then show the correct again. This way, the child feels what's right, and then they also feel what's wrong, and then they try to find the difference, and then go, oh yeah, it should feel like this, not like this. This also clarifies exactly what's kind of the accepted movement and what's not. So the last thing to help you become a master teacher on my list is we're going to use what I call improvement language, which means you're going to say what was good about what just took place, and then you're going to specify what needs improving. So what specific action do you want to see? And then you're going to ask them to repeat the entire action. So let's say, for example, that during our kicks, we need our face to be in the water for 5 seconds, which you'll see later on. And let's say your child is kicking and their face stays in for 3 seconds. When they come up, you're going to say, oh, I like that you had your face in for 3 seconds, but what I need to see is face in for 5 seconds. So we're going to try again, and I want your face to stay in for all 5 seconds until I say number 5, and then I'll say, and then you go do it again. And if they fix it, perfect. If they don't, if they keep their face in for 4, same thing. They come up, they say, oh, you were so close. I like that it was 4 seconds. That's better than 3. But what I need is 5 seconds. We need to do this all the way to 5 seconds. Now, this isn't key for everything. We don't have to do it on every skill, but only the ones that are very important. And I'll let you know which those are. Some of them, I don't really care so much. I'm like, yeah, this one, you teach it like this, you show it like this. It's not critical. But most of the time we'll use this language. And occasionally we'll just need to say, nope, that wasn't it, do it again, right? After we've practiced this language and the child still isn't doing it, you say, nope, let's do it again. But 90 to 95% of the time, we'll be using this improvement language. This is similar to when we're teaching a child anything around the house. Let's say, for example, we need them to clean their room. We take a look. The best approach to doing this is, as opposed to saying, no, you didn't do it, is say, oh, I like that you cleaned up all your cars or whatever it was from the floor, or that you put your dolls on the shelf. I need to also see your clothes put away. Tell me when they're done, right? So tell them what they did right, what needs to happen, and then have them repeat the task or finish it or complete it until it's finished. Same with homework, for example. You might say, oh, I'm glad that you got through this many questions, and how much longer do you think it will take you to finish the rest of those? Great, you let me know when they're done. I'm excited to get swimming. Are you ready? Well, when you're ready, I'll see you in video 1.